Hi, this is Mr. McConley, and this is Intro to Agriculture class. And we're here, and we're going to revisit something that we looked at about 3 weeks ago. Farmer Andrew was planting some different things down in the basement, so I'm going to take the camera. And as you recall, this was back on the 20th of March. I'm going to turn the lights. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what works better. There we go. A little bit better.
We can start
back
down
on the
here.
20th of March. We were planting some seeds, so now we definitely have some plants going here. So Farmer Andrew, give us a rundown. What's going on?
Go through real quick and point out what each thing is.
Okay.
So here we have our colored bell peppers. So they're like, I think they're red, orange, yellow, green.
Okay.
And as you can see, they're not growing very fast because they take about 2 weeks to germinate. And here we have a mixture of, I think it's microgreens and lettuce and stuff like that. Those you can see grow much quicker, and I've actually, out of this group of lettuce here, I've already harvested a little bit lately.
Sure.
And we got our spinach back here, a few cucumbers in here.
Okay, can you slide that out a little bit, because
Yeah,
when
sure.
it's under the light, it's hard to see on the camera. Okay,
So here are the cucumbers. I did notice that I put in, I think it's watermelon here and some yellow squash over here. And
over here. Okay.
I actually replanted them and they never came up. And they still haven't come up even after the second time.
What do you think the reasoning is for
I'm
that?
thinking that either the soil, because I used a different type of soil, so the soil could be absorbing water too quickly and I don't realize how wet it is, so I've been trying to let those dry out, or the seeds could be pretty old. That's the other possibility.
Okay.
And we can
Could
just
you go
let it-
back to the one?
This is some kale here, I think.
Okay,
pretty
slide
sure.
that out again. So we've been
Some sort of kale.
eating some of this with our lunch, and show us point to where you were. I'll hold the thing so it doesn't
So
fall
I did this
before.
especially on the spinach because the spinach tends to grow very leggy. So you can see right here, I trimmed it to let the energy come up the plant and then go more to the bottom, instead of just making it taller and taller and stringy and losing nutrients. And I also did the same thing on a lot of these lettuce. I kind of trimmed them down, and the spinach here had like a big tall thing with a bunch of tiny little leaves on it.
Yep.
And it'll probably go to seed if I had let it keep going, and then it won't taste good.
Okay.
Look on the bottom.
Let's see what we got down here.
So these are the, I think they're beefsteak tomatoes,
Okay.
and those were planted the same time. So you can see how much bigger they are than the bell peppers that we planted.
Yeah.
I'll probably let them grow, I don't know, another week or 2 weeks, maybe, and then I'm going to put them in some bigger pots to let the roots expand.
Okay. What we got here?
We got some beans. Those I'm a little worried about because they're getting so big, they're going to have to go out in the garden and it's still pretty cold. Same
Yep.
thing with the peas next to them.
All right, the peas. Yeah, they're getting pretty. They're wanting to grow up something.
They're nice and tall.
Yep.
And those were planted at the same time as the tomatoes, believe it or not. So you can see how much quicker those will germinate. They're a softer shelled seed.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing. I noticed you've been taking plants outside during the day.
So I've been bringing them outside during the day, especially the beans and the peas, because they're going to be going out fairly soon, or as soon as possible.
What's
it
the
just
purpose of that?
hardens them up so they're used to the cold more. And if I was just to plant them outside in the cold, they just wilt and pretty much die right away.
Would shock them.
Yeah, they'd be like, "What's this?" Because they've been in the warm house for a long time.
Okay.
I could talk about the fertilizer next.
Sure. What do you got there?
So I have a Miracle Grow mixture of water and Miracle Grow.
Yep.
And
I gotta move, like, point away from the. There we go.
it's hard to see it. It looks like water.
Yep.
But I mixed in a little bit of the plant food.
Okay. Sure.
And I think you mix, there's a little scoop in here, and you mix like a scoop to each gallon. So I put in about 2/3 of what they said to,
Yep.
because you're only supposed to water like once a week, but I want to water more than that.
Okay.
And I don't water with this every time because then I'd be over fertilizing. Sometimes I just water with normal water, and I don't water the lettuce with this fertilizer because you do not want that on your lettuce.
Okay.
I think it'll affect it, especially if they're not getting rained on or anything to clean it off. And
Gotcha. And since you're eating the leaves of the
yeah,
lettuce.
I don't do that.
Okay. Good. So, what else do we have in store? What else are we going to plant?
I'm gonna start doing pumpkins about 3 weeks before they go out, which would be probably end of April, beginning of May.
Okay.
Just to give some of those a little head start. Some of the ones that take longer. Like I wouldn't worry about a smaller pumpkin, which doesn't take as long, or gourds, I wouldn't worry about them. I just direct plant them. But like those big pumpkins that are 400 pounds or whatever,
Yep.
they take like 130 days. So I'm gonna put those inside pretty soon here.
Okay. Good. Anything else you want to update us on?
Nope,
All right.
right now.
So, for today, this has been Mr. McConley, Intro to Agriculture, and this is our update on how our plants are growing down in the basement. The weather outside's not looking great yet, but we're hopeful.